All right, we're back. A couple of interesting research calls today. We'll call them our calls of the day. ViacomCBS double upgraded at Bank of America. The analyst there citing that it's a potential takeout target with premium assets, especially after the news we got earlier in the week with the big media deal. Farmer Jim, you own ViacomCBS. Do you own it now for a deal?
Well, I own it on the merits of the company actually standing alone, Scott. Now, at $27 billion, it could be taken over. There is one big impediment, and that's Sherry Redstone. She's not somebody who's likely to go out cheap. Now, Apple could make some over-the-top crazy bid, or somebody of that size. Netflix could do it. But it ain't going to be cheap. Sherry's a tough competitor. She's not going to give this crown jewel up easily. Here's one thing I want to point out, though.
Go ahead.
If you're in the stock like me, you don't have to be in it for takeout. They've got 36 million streaming subscribers. They've got 50 million at Pluto TV. They've got throw weight enough on their own to go it alone.
Okay. Chipotle upgraded over at UBS. That is to a buy. I think Joe Terranova still owns that. Price target to $1,700 from $1,575. I got nobody on the desk today that owns it. However, Josh is in Starbucks and Shake Shack. Jim, you've got Starbucks. You don't like Chipotle. Courtney owns Darden Restaurants. Court, why not Chipotle?
You don't really want me to answer that. How about I just tell you there's just another number of companies that you can buy, diversified in the restaurant space, leaders, solid management team, solid balance sheet. I don't, whether it's Darden, yes, talking my own book, but I think that's what you guys want us to do on here, or Cake with Cheesecake Factory, Shake Shack, Josh has been talking about forever and a day. Chipotle is just not my thing.
Okay. Carrie, no Chipotle for you either?
No, it's just a really high stock. It must be also in electric vehicles because it seems to trade that way. And I just can't justify the price. So, Starbucks is the name we've owned in the past. We don't own any of the restaurant stocks now. And, I think they've been great stocks. Chipotle has been phenomenal since they ran into the problem with, bacteria in the lettuce or whatever. And, good for the shareholders, but there's no way that we could buy it and be able to justify the valuation here.
Well, you justified Twilio.
Hey, Judge, this analyst has been
I'm coming back
bearish
to you
on Chipotle.
Yeah.
I would just say, this analyst has been at a neutral for almost 2 years, and he was at a sell rating the entire 2 years before that. This stock has been compounding at 23% a year, while this guy's been telling people to avoid the stock. So, dude is suspect. Yeah. I'm not listening to him. I think that you want to wait. This is another stock that had a huge run, and then for the last 6 months has been in an obvious downtrend.
Okay.
So I think you want to wait to see that that's been resolved.
Okay. Back to you, Carrie, right? See, I love when you guys do that. You're like, oh, God, that valuation's just in the clouds. I could never own that. And then I remember to myself, I'm like, wait a minute, but we just talked about Twilio earlier in the show, which...
Hey. Carrie's investing in the future, Scott. You leave her alone.
Carrie, you seem to have no problem with the Twilios of the world.
Well, as I said before, we have sold Twilio 4 times over the past year. We have, meaning we have cut our position back because it had been such a phenomenal winner for us. And there's no way that you can compare a restaurant company, fast food Mexico, no matter how good it is, with the kind of business that Twilio is, which, started off giving you a notification that, your Delta flight was leaving, and then there were no Delta flights, and they went into every other vertical in the world. From, now you can go into the waiting room at your dentist, or now it's time to be able to sort of pick up something at this store, because they had to shift dramatically, and they were able to do it. And it's a company that is going to be making a lot of money at extremely high margins, which is not what you do when you're selling, tacos and burritos. I mean, forgive me, but it's a really high-cost business.
I know. You didn't have to go into that whole thing. I was just having a little fun there, but that's okay. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right.